because we do find that this is a momentous occasion that you officially, speak to us as a small but sincere group of aspiring book distributors. And we are very honored to have you here with us. And Vaisesika Prabhu, actually, he doesn't need much introduction, but he's one of Srila Prabhupada's very senior disciples who's been and still is absorbed in the service of reading and sharing Srila Prabhupada's knowledge through his books. I can see on his face that he's like, okay, let's just, I've got so much to share, so I don't want to make it too long, but just say that we are very happy to have your personal audience and encouragement for our book distribution and our spiritual lives in general. So thank you so much. We wish you all the best, and yeah, we pray that we are able to hear everything you want to share with us and act on it. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Roti Manjari. I really appreciate it. And thank all of you for holding the fort there in one of the most important places in the world. I'll just start, as we usually do with our meetings, with one paragraph from Prabhupada's books, just to bring us to awareness of our eternal existential position. According to the Padma Purana, within the material compass, there are innumerable material universes, and all of them are full of darkness. Any living being, beginning from the Brahmas, there are innumerable Brahmas in innumerable universes, to the insignificant ant, are all born in darkness, and they require factual light from the Lord to see him directly, just as the sun can be seen only from the direct light of the sun. No lamp or man-made torchlight, however powerful it may be, can help one see the sun. The sun reveals itself. Therefore, the action of different energies of the Lord, or the personality of God himself, can be realized by the light manifested by the causeless mercy of the Lord. The impersonalists say that God cannot be seen. God can be seen by the light of God and not by man-made speculations. Here, this light is especially mentioned as Vidyat, which is an order by the Lord to Brahma. This direct order of the Lord is a manifestation of his internal energy, and this particular energy is the means of seeing the Lord face to face. Not only Brahma, but anyone who may be graced by the Lord to see such merciful direct internal energy can also realize the personality of Godhead without any mental speculation. Dear Srila Prabhupada, dear Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Shri Panchadhatha, if you so desire, please empower us in this meeting so we can be very clear about your direct orders and carry them out in a mood of service. Thank you for considering our request. Om Tat Sat. Now, as far as the meeting goes, do you have a facilitator who'd like to move it along, or would you like
Yeah,
us
well,
to?
we
Yes.
we have a short agenda. We were wondering that if we send you a report about the Dutch book distribution, publication, etc. Were you able to glance at it yet, or would you like us to give a summary, or would you like to go through it now?
Yes, hold on. I'm opening it now for
Okay,
myself, and I would like you to go through it. And I also got a list of questions.
right.
Vishwavandhu Prabhu had sent some, and then if you want to go over those afterwards, then we can systematically engage in uh, discussing solutions and such.
Yeah, but of course,
Okay.
perhaps you also had something particular in mind which you wanted to share with us. We're obviously also open for that. So, but these are from our side, these are the two things, the report and the questions that were sent in with two different devotees.
Perfect.
Would like to go through that,
Let's do
over
that.
that. Okay. So the report was compiled by Chitralekha Dasi, who is also here.
Hare Krishna. Haribol. Jai. Yeah, so this report was made in October with all the different facets of the Dutch BBT and what is happening in the area of book distribution. So we'll go very shortly through it if you like. This is a list of all the books that are published in Dutch now, Srila Prabhupada's books. So we have Srimad Bhagavatam, Cantos 1 and 10, Bhagavad Gita, all the Bhakti Shastri books. And our most recent book that we've published is the very first book ever about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Dutch. It's a very small one in English, Lord Chaitanya's Life and Teachings. So we were able to raise over 15,000 euros in order to print it. Because the BBT wants us to put a lot of effort in because there are still a lot of books in the storehouse in Italy. So if we want to print something new, we need to raise the Lakshmi ourselves. So we were able to distribute now 3,800 copies before it actually got launched, the book. So in pre-sales, and this helped us to print the book. So there are a few pictures of people receiving the book in yoga schools, and mostly we also pre-sale the books to devotees in boxes, so they can order boxes and then distribute them themselves. We also have ongoing translations. Now we're in the last phases of the Sri Upanishads and the Higher Taste. And also the Dutch translation of Easy Journey to Other Planets is almost finished. And partial translations is Light on Bhagavata and the Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, 12 chapters we've done so far. Then we're also busy on the digitalization of the book. So we want to make ebooks. We just recently were able to not release yet, but create our first three ebooks, which we hope to launch before Christmas so that people can do their Christmas shopping with Prabhupada's ebooks in Dutch. And we updated the database, so we added also 3 books there because for about 12 years there was only 3 books on there. So now we got 6. And we are finding ways to digitalize the books that have been lost in digital files. So there are some books, for instance, Srimad Bhagavatam, which we don't have the PDFs anymore, so we cannot reprint it. So we're looking for ways how to digitalize them again so we can start the reprinting of that. And then on distribution efforts, in Holland, we have a lot of mini libraries. So we have Anandajit Prabhu. He's one of our most enthusiastic book distributors in Holland. I think he stocked almost every single one of them through Holland. Recently, we also had 2 really nice book fairs where we went, Diwali Festival and a bigger, more neutral book fair in Utrecht. So there's some pictures of that here. Yeah, that was nice. Yeah. And mostly when we launch a new book, we also organize a reading marathon. So mostly 2 weeks, we read 30 minutes a day. And people or devotees we join online. And then in just 30 minutes a day, 2 weeks, we can mostly finish the books. So that's a nice way to come together and to focus also on the content of the books. And we've done that with Bhagavad Gita, with Prabhupada Lilamrita, Nectar of Instruction, Krishna book, and also Lord Chaitanya's Life and Teachings. And then some statistics. So September was our best month yet. We had first place in Europe, I think. Yeah, Europe. But mostly, yeah, we are between sort of the 10th place and sometimes dropping a little bit, 23rd, 9th. So it's going up and down a little bit here in Holland. But it seems that there's more interest now. We have an app that's called Book Scores, where we also share all of our scores, and that really stimulates us. And then we recently had a seminar on book distribution. This was a 6-hour seminar, so a whole day, by full-time book distributor Jeroen. He's originally from Holland, but he's never here because he's always traveling, doing books and going with Haranam Ruchi. So he was here again, and we had a nice seminar with him in Amsterdam. Also recorded the session and shared it on several online platforms. And then some future plans. We are planning since a long time to translate the Chaitanya Charitamrita in Dutch. That is still quite a big project. We are right now updating our web shop, so we can also try and make them more available online for online distribution. Then just recently, a few months ago, we have created this group's Books and Bliss, where a few enthusiastic devotees from the Dutch Yatra are gathered together in order to come up with new ideas and brainstorm about ways how to present the books and to distribute them. And we hope in the future that this will lead to a solid group that goes out on book distribution every single day, because Holland is ready for it. So yeah, that's a small update from our side on what is happening on the book front. And of course, there are many Harinams in Holland, and during those Harinams, books are distributed as well. So that's in short.
Sadhu, sadhu. That's a really robust and well presented, aesthetically pleasing, and impressive when it comes to the organization and the results. I commend all the devotees there. Amazing efforts you're making, and it looks really good. Fantastic.
It's also Chitraleka, who's very quick apparently at learning new skills. She's the one that is producing ebooks now after this desire was there for like 20 years, but now they're actually popping out. It's like almost like one book a day she's doing. It's amazing.
Excellent. Well done. And now, yes, please go ahead, Bishop Prabhu.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Thank you, Chitaleka Maharaj, also for this nice presentation. So maybe, I don't know, Guru Maharaj, if you want to say something, or we can go on with the questions.
Questions.
So several devotees in this meeting sent a few questions, or actually a whole list of questions that I also shared with you. So I would like to leave the first two for the last. So start with the third question. And it is, where should our focus be for books? Distributing as many as possible, or creating as positive impression as possible per book, or connecting people to a follow-up program? I think
All those are not mutually exclusive. They are complementary to one another. So when the devotees have the ethos of leaving everyone with a good impression, they tend to do much better, because going out to make friends with people, seeing them as spiritual souls, being very selective in the people that we stop, as per the instruction of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Ishvare Tadidineshu, Balisheshu, Dvisatsucha, Prema Maitri, Kripopeksha, Yakaroti Samadhyamaha. These are the marching orders for those who would go out into the great world, or the greater world, I should say, and distribute Krishna consciousness. It's that you should be selective. You look for those who are open, and then give as much mercy as possible. For those that are closed, don't pursue them. Let them go easily, and leave them with a feeling that they weren't pursued. And we talk about that in our seminars about the ripe fruit principle. When you go to pick fruits, you look for the ripe fruits, leave the other ones on the vine. That's the directive we're getting from Srimad Bhagavatam. And then as far as connecting people goes, this is fully available nowadays. We already have programs that are set up, or that can easily be set up to accommodate new people. And when that aspect of our preaching becomes one with ekagrata, it's one thing with book distribution, not two things, not book distribution and follow-up, but they're the same thing. So that when we meet people, we are simultaneously connecting them to a forum where they can get sangha. And in that sangha, our philosophy is not to try to sell them anything, not to try to get them to do anything. The only objective we have is to get them to come back. And that's not so easy unless you really engineer it that way to make it favorable for them. And you have to bring it down to their level. And that can be done on Zoom plus in person. And if you have a combination like that, as there are several models, one of the best ones I've seen that's really roaring now is called Bhakti Community. It comes out of California, and it's something to consider. A lot of yatras are connecting to it as a franchise, and some can take others take ideas from it and do their own. But one one program, book distribution and follow-up, they do it as one thing. And let's see, that was two. There was 3 points you made. One was leaving people with a good impression. The other was how about the follow-up, and what was the third one?
Yeah, so distributing as many as possible, creating, sorry.
As many as possible. Yeah, so I'm saying it's not mutually exclusive. When you go out in the right attitude, books naturally go out. And as far as setting goals, for how many books to do, keep in mind that birds fly in the sky as high as they're able, but the sky is unlimited. So whatever we do, there's always more to do. The reason we set goals is for what it makes of us to achieve them. And we look especially towards the concept of capacity more than a specific goal. The specific goals are important for developing capacity, but overall, we're looking to see how much capacity we have. And that means there are various aspects to capacity. Shamohini, tell us more about our tenets of capacity, please, if you have that available.
Yes, Prabhu. Sorry, I'm just, would you like me to pull up the slide or just speak?
Whatever way you can do it. We can give the slides later if it takes you a minute to pull it up, or you can just talk about it.
Increasing our capacity can be done in many ways by increasing the number of communities that we have participating, expanding our tools, the number of books, the languages in which the books are available, expanding our tools to accept payment, also increasing the number of devotees who are participating. Does that, Prabhu, is that something that you were referring to?
Yeah, and check our slide also for that if we missed anything. But in general, we look for a sort of building infrastructure.
Yes.
There's also streams. Like I heard somebody once say, very wealthy people generally have at least 7 streams of income. And very successful Sankirtan parties have at least, well, they have multiple techniques by which they distribute books. Oftentimes when we talk about book distribution, people say, oh, well, I don't like to go on the street. Well, that's fine. That's only one out of a myriad of ways that you can distribute books. We have at least 14 different ways we do it. Here's our list, communities participating. You can measure how many communities, and we talk about communities as 2 or more people. So there might be a family with 2 people. That's a community. And if you get communities involved, that's a way of increasing your capacity. Then how many participants in each community are going out? That's another measurement. Streamlined payment acceptance is a part of increasing our capacity to accept what people give. If you miss anybody because they have a way of paying that you can't accept, then that doesn't that limits our capacity. Efficient inventory management, which you look like you're on top of. You're getting the books you need, your inventory increasing, making sure you have what you need to distribute it. And then what I just talked about, multiple streams of distribution. This is a preliminary list, but thinking in terms of capacity can be really helpful. And when you look to capacity, which I would say also includes regular training, then you'll naturally increase. And the increases won't be herky-jerky. You can look for slightly higher goals to reach for as far as the numbers go. And there's different numbers you can reach for. Like in London, they've been fascinated with seeing how many doors they can knock. I think they had a goal last marathon of knocking on 50,000 doors. And that was the goal. And you can also measure how many people go out. You can also make other types of qualitative goals, which you're doing like with reading and those types of things. The point is, if you have what Prabhupada said was always make a fresh challenge so the devotees will want to rise up and meet it. I know you have a lot more questions, Vishwabandhu, so please continue unless somebody wants to ask anything related to what I just said.
Yes, I have a question, because sometimes it happens when we are, sorry, when we are on Harinam, that we just give books away, like here a book to someone who passes by. But then I understand that that is actually not a really good idea or not a good tactic to do, because then we don't have any interaction or anything with that person.
Well, I put it like this. I don't like to deprive people of the opportunity to give a donation if they want to, because it's a momentous occasion when somebody not only receives a book, but they recognize what it is, or even if they don't recognize what it is, they recognize that it's an important exchange. There's some value to it, so they give something in return. And if we don't even give them a chance, then we deprive them of that opportunity to make great advancement. On the other hand, the other extreme is there are yatras that they charge exorbitant amounts for the books for the distributors, and they set a really high price, and you got to make a profit, and this and that. That's the other side of the spectrum, which also is not very productive. It puts a very fruitive mood into the system. So just understanding what donations are. We don't need the money, but they need to give. So giving them opportunity to do that and introducing that concept to devotees can be very helpful. And one reason that devotees just give away, there's a couple reasons, or maybe more, that devotees like to give away free books. I mean, historically, it's been seen that certain leaders felt that asking for too many donations made us look bad. So they
Yeah.
said, well, let's just give them away free. That's kind of throwing the baby out with the bathwater. There's another way of doing it, which is training devotees how to do it gracefully. And it's not to say that there aren't circumstances in which we would give away a free book. For instance, during Ratha Yatras in Los Angeles, we organize it so they give out a little book pack. But one difference there is it's not so random. There's a Rath Yatra, Lord Jagannath's coming down the street, and people are on the sidelines maybe, but they're participating because they're appreciating it so much. And then when they receive a book pack, it's not random. It's not like just, here, take this. Prabhupada didn't like that because he recognized that people wouldn't value it. And therefore, we have to use our common sense. He did mention that we could give away some small books. But as far as big books go, when we do Harinam festivals, for instance, here in the Bay Area, we call it Kirtan Oasis, and it's a little mini festival. We always have at least 3 book tables in the vicinity. And at the book tables, we offer people the opportunity to take the books away, but we also offer them the opportunity to donate. And we find that when we give them that freedom in the environment of the holy names going on, and there, it's a donation suggested, most people, 95, 99% of the people are eager to help. So that can be engineered, and it's more satisfying for the devotees to do that rather than just hand them out randomly as people walk by.
Maybe more others have questions maybe about this? You mentioned, Guru Maharaj, about training opportunities. What kind of training opportunities are available in book distribution?
Shamahi, why don't you show what we have available right now on distributebooks.com?
Yes.
Our website, where we keep all of the links for everything and all the resources, is called distributebooks.com. And recently we've placed there.
Is this the screen visible with distributebooks.com?
Yes.
Okay. Would you like me to speak to it?
Yes, please.
Okay, so this is the website, distributebooks.com. We update all our resources on this website. At the homepage, you have the Book Distribution 101 course, which is the first of a three-part course that the Book Distribution Ministry is rolling out. Devotees can take this course. It's very interactive, it's straightforward, and it's also available in different languages on the website. Further updates will also be made here. You can also download resources from the resources section. It's helpful training and book distribution resources, which take you to a drive where there's various different materials that can help devotees in their distribution.
Give an example, just open a folder there so they can see.
Sure. So this is, let me show you, Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam in a nutshell. So I open this, it talks about how to distribute a Bhagavad Gita, which is based on the presentation that Vaisesika Prabhu gives, how to distribute a Bhagavad Gita on its own merit. So you can see the different steps that are there. That's one of the resources. There's also
Would there be videos also that go along with these things?
We have videos. We're currently updating our training videos, but there are some training videos on the website. And yeah, we're currently updating our training videos to.
There's a lot on YouTube also.
Yes,
if you
Bill.
look under my name, there's quite a few training videos about how to sell a Bhagavad Gita on its own merit. And then there's a lot of the recorded training sessions we've done that you can borrow from there too. You'll see a lot in there. If you surf around, it's quite dense with information. And if there's anything that you need specifically, you can be in touch with Shamohini and we will get it for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Can I ask a question on that?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is really nice for those who are already interested in book distribution. How can we choose and make the devotees enthusiastic who are not yet connected to book distribution now? Because we need quite some more devotees who want to go out with us and want to try and want to learn, as our yatra is relatively small and our book group as well.
Small yatras rock. So you're lucky. And you have great leadership. So don't worry about a thing. You're perfectly situated. Two things come to mind that could be helpful. One is the first module of the training is not about techniques, how to distribute books. It's about our legacy. And we find that when devotees who are unacquainted hear about our legacy, as an example, we talk about how we're called the Sampradaya of the book. And we run through a series of history lessons about how much our acharyas adored books and saw it as the means by which we would inculcate Krishna consciousness into the hearts of those unacquainted. And it goes along, for instance, with Lord Chaitanya's teachings to Sanatana Goswami, who said, Maya Mugdha Jivana Nahi Swata Krishna Gyan, Jivera Kripaya Koila Krishna Veda Puran. He talks specifically about how the intervention in the life of a person who's in ignorance comes from the book. He mentions that Ved Vyas made this contribution. So when devotees have this orientation towards the mood of our acharyas, which was how to give knowledge to people who don't have it, and they start to get the idea Otherwise, if we don't inculcate that, and also, the history of how Prabhupada got into book distribution. His guru told him, if you ever get money, print books. And do people know that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta worshipped the printing press? He kept it alongside the deities at the Bhag Bazar Mandir in Calcutta. Do they know that? And do they know that the first thing Prabhupada did when he got to America was to establish a printing press in a house? The first house purchased in India was on Beacon Street in America, on Beacon Street in Boston, and they scraped a little bit of money just to get a down payment. That was the first money in ISKCON that was collated. And Prabhupada used to buy a house specifically so he could put a printing press there. So his intention was to do what his guru said, and he did it, which is if you ever get money, print books. So when people come to know this, which you learn in the first module, then they start to get oriented towards what's important. And if we don't tell them, then they'll think something else. So that's very helpful to have that. And I've noticed when we have our seminars and we introduce the devotees, the first day of our seminar is really about the legacy and why we do it. What are our books in the first place? We talk about it from a very objective point of view, which is the books it's a delivery system. And what's inside? Idea seeds. And we show how various ideologies in the world have taken root because of books being written. For instance, we give an example of selective evolution. And do people know about it? Yes, everybody knows. Does anybody have the book by Darwin? Maybe one person who's in college has it. But nobody's read it, but yet it's prevalent everywhere. Why? Because somebody wrote a book. So we point out that this is not some quaint activity for, enthusiasts from the 1960s or something like that. This was a calculated way to interject, as Prabhupada used the word, the philosophy of Krishna consciousness into the society. It's viable. So those types of teachings are helpful to build context for people.
Thank you. Can we translate that course in Dutch as well?
Yes, definitely. Of course, nowadays, as you know, you're translating everything. Are you using AI for making
To
these?
help sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, we use whatever means it takes to, get it to you in a form that you can use. And we're fully dedicated to making sure that you get everything you need in the way that you need it.
Thank you.
I was wondering, Guru Maharaj, I hear sometimes people say like book distribution on the streets, that it is more for something from the past, and that we should more move on to other forms of book distribution, like mass distribution, yoga schools, or on fairs, and that the street book distribution is actually not really fits anymore in the current time. How do you look to that?
Well, I would just say that if you go out and try it, you probably change your mind. Oftentimes, it's a conception that people have of this, that. But when you actually go out on book distribution, you find, number one, you can't have any more fun than that in the whole world. And number two, there are people who are waiting to take this. I mean, I just took a group out on the street in London. We went to Watford, which is not so far from the Bhaktivedanta Manor. And the first guy I met, I have it on video, it's on my Facebook. You just have to watch that. The guy was an attorney and he practically stopped me. And I was with a group of maybe, 25 devotees watching me. And you just watch the interaction I have with that person. And that is the most satisfying of interactions we could possibly have in our lives because we know to some extent the value of Krishna consciousness because somebody did it for us. And when you see that there are ripe fruits walking around and only us being there would have reached the person doesn't go to a yoga studio, and that they were overwhelmed with gratitude and so forth. And you see that over and over. You watch the video, it's on my Fan the Spark video. It's an hour and a half, 2 hours of just straight book distribution. Me only picking the right fruits, and the other people, if you watch that, or if people have the experience for themselves, they'll relish it and they'll think, oh yes, this is important. And as I said, street book distribution, what does it even mean? It just means you're in public. I mean, what's a street? It's just where people are walking around. So anywhere there's souls in human bodies, especially, that we can interact with them in appropriate ways. And we want people to do yoga studios. We want people to put out free books. We want people to innovate, be entrepreneurs, figure out your way of doing it and just do it. And don't worry, if somebody else has another method. Although I will say that our training when we go out in public is to leave everyone with a good impression. Because if people think that it's unseemly for us to be in public for some reason, first of all, if we're friendly to people and we look saintly and we act saintly, it's a great plus for society because, frankly, every downtown area I've ever been to in the world is completely boring. And I would take it to another level. It's actually a very depressing environment. I'm looking for a better word, but for that, I'll have to suffice for now. But it's all based on economics. The downtown area is either financial area where people are running to an appointment to try to make some killing in the market, or they're doing some retail thing. And, other way you get your hair cut or your nails done. But where's it, where's somebody tending to the soul? Even the police know, they see us downtown and then they think, wow, what a relief. Because they live down there in that horrible environment and they see, oh, there's something spiritual going on here. So just, experiment. And one thing we do when we invite devotees to go out, maybe I'm jumping the gun here, but there's an important concept, is we keep it simple and easy. So do you have that meme about touch the pavement? Shambhini could show them
I
that.
can pull it up, Prabhu.
This is one of our memes that's been going for years now. But when we invite people from a seminar, we say, you're not going out to distribute books, you're just going out to touch the pavement. We invite the devotees to go out to their spot, put their right foot, all together, they take a picture together, and they put their foot on the pavement. And since you have the courage to actually walk out the door, go to your spot, you're done for the day. You don't have to do anything else. There's a touch the pavement meme. And it's so exhilarating when people from the congregation, including kids, you can bring your pet. If you have a pet, bring a bird or a dog. They like it too. And just go out there and touch the pavement. After that, Krishna will direct you from within the heart. Boy, did I get on a soapbox there. You better keep asking questions so we can get through a few more things.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Are there more questions about this? I think Shitaleka Mataji, you had one more really important question in your list.
In general, you mean, or on this topic?
No, in general, that you really wanted to discuss.
Yeah, I had a few. Let me see. Yeah, how can we maintain a sense of success and connection and enthusiasm even during times when outwardly it seems like not so much is happening in book distribution
We'll
around?
redefine what success is. We all have that opportunity. We're the ones who define what success is in the first place. And so that's the idea of touch the pavement. Because if I do seminars and I'll do 2 days of teaching inside, then it's time to go out, right? And so that what I found historically is the number of people, maybe you have 70 people, and then when it's time to go out, maybe 15 would be ready. And why? Because their mother called them and wants a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, so they had to leave and find any reason not to go out because they don't know what's going to happen in the great unknown out there. So I started emphasizing that, look at all you want, what you really want to experience is what it feels like to walk out the door. Once you do that, touch the pavement, you're done. And I mean it too. I don't want them to do anything. I don't want them to feel like they have to perform. or do anything special, and show up in a certain way and show their talent, and they'll think, I don't want to, what'll happen if I can't do this? It freezes them up. So free them from that and just let them have the experience. And for yourselves, just t find definitions of success that everybody can rise up and meet. And you'll find that it changes over time. We started at ISV with really simple, easy, not easy, but they're stretch, but we knew we could attain them with a little effort. And I remember the first time we actually set a numerical goal for books. And the devotees came to me and said, "Oh, wow, that's maybe you're pushing too hard now." And I wrote an article and I published it on Dundavats at the time. It was years ago, maybe 2008. And it was about the the importance of thinking big and pushing for it. So they reached that goal and we've never looked back because everyone now hankers for they want some pressure to come to the next level because when they do, they realize they were empowered by Lord Chaitanya. They didn't do it. And that's what you want is this sense that it's not coming from individual talent. It's coming from a blessing that's coming to the group from Lord Chaitanya. Rati Manjari.
Yes, Prabhu. I had a question. As you have noticed, we with a few devotees in the Benelux, we went along with your powerful yearly schedule of the CC in around distribution of Chaitanya Charitamrita around Gaur Purnima, then over to the Bhagavatam Bhadra Purnima campaign, then the Gita campaign, and that's basically it. That's how the year evolves, and it's wonderful. I mean, it's genius, and it's also kind of addictive. Then again, it's also like there's always I'm speaking for myself, some marathon going on, some pressure, as you were saying, which I personally found and few along with me that I couldn't keep up with it because of my, other weaknesses, I suppose, and just being distracted at job and so many things. And then I started feeling bad and kind of hiding. And still, I want to distribute some books, so I'm doing the like 5 books a day in these libraries, mostly, and here and there I give to a person. And now, of course, I want to make some days on the street. Um, so how would you say that I can best deal with it kind of an embarrassment, like because we also make plans here in Holland. We have books which are in the warehouse for like 35 years, like for example, A Path to Perfection. We have so many, we have thousands of Krishna books with Path to Perfection. They're just gathering dust. Nobody's getting them. And we want to get them to the people. So now for this December marathon, we have kindly not like officially announced that, but we want to focus on the Path to Perfection. But yeah, it's not the Gita marathon, so I feel embarrassed. Maybe you noticed I've been hiding a little bit. This is one of the main reasons, because I feel I should like go along with the main, world's rhythm. But yeah, how do you what's your vision on that
You're a
dilemma?
powerhouse, Rati Manjari. You're always out on Harinam. You're always doing book distribution. You're always preaching. It's what you're doing is fantastic. I mean, it's over and above the call of duty. In fact, Bhagavatam says that what is it, Brahmasprag? Jnane priyasam pasyana eva jivanti san karitam bhavadiya vartam. Jivanti means if you just stay alive by eating a little kitri and a popper once in a while, just so you can keep hearing Bhagavatam, you're good. So, you're way better than good. You're doing that plus 5 books a day, fantastic. Everyone's invited to do what they can handle and make an
Mm.
environment in which everyone feels that they just want to enact the genius that Krishna has given them from within their heart. Prabhupada said that. He said, just be sincere. And Prabhupada said, and he went like this, 1975 Vrindavan, we were at Sankirtan parties, we met Prabhupada, and he said, if you're just sincere and try, then the master within your heart will show you how to do it. And so if you have a warehouse full of books, you can make a fun proposition to the whole community that let's see if we can do all these within a certain amount of time. I mean, I'm not saying this is what you should do. I'm just saying make it fun and make it intriguing, catch people's attention, make it a fresh challenge. And what's more, like move all of the books into the temple room. Don't leave them in the warehouse. Bring all the boxes in, all 35,000, and put them in the temple room and then build a castle
Wow.
out of it or something. And then, color code it, whatever, brainstorm, make things fun. No
Mm.
reason to feel guilty. This is a movement for bliss and ecstasy, and just find where your pace is. And the idea is a lot of devotees, each expressing their own genius and the way they want to do it. And some people like to work from behind the scenes. They can cook for everybody. Or other people,
Mhm.
they have huge stacks of cash and it's really bothering them because it's a burden to hold on to all that money and where to put it.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
really is. Having money is
Mm.
difficult. So we give them the opportunity to hand over that money to Lord Chaitanya and let the books flow out freely as much as possible, subsidize. So give lots of opportunity for everyone to execute in the way that they can execute. Shamahini, she's highly experienced in this because she runs the Yatra in Toronto for many years and they've had great success there. You want to add anything to that for the psychology of it?
Nothing more than what you already said, Prabhu. In my experience, if we have a program going, then devotees like to join. And if there's an opportunity to serve in many ways, like Vaisesika Prabhu mentioned, whatever their nature is, not everything means that you have to come out and, maybe join the Harinam or help with the backup services. That gives them a way to touch the pavement and feel included, so that it's not us and somebody else doing Sankirtan. It's like one team, that mood.
Mm.
Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah, and these
Really.
these campaigns that we have, we put them in place to really make sure that in perpetuity there would be a channel for Prabhupada's main books, which arguably are the Bhagavad Gita as it is, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. And
Mm.
minus a campaign, you can see the difference in results. Some years ago, all over ISKCON, we were doing maybe 1,000 sets of Bhagavatams total
Mhm.
in all languages. And now, we're up in the 40,000, 50,000 range. And that's
Yes.
because there's a campaign and it has some structure to it. And Bhagavad Gita as well. When we first started our Live to Give, we were going for 1 million, and everyone's like, how are we going to reach 1 million Bhagavad Gitas? Now we're at 5 million. And
Mm.
Chaitanya Charitamrita, it was nothing. Nobody even knew what it was. And nobody even still knows who Lord Chaitanya is, which is the greatest tragedy on earth, I guarantee you, because
Yeah.
nobody's better than Lord Chaitanya. You guys are doing it. You got that book. So,
Finally. Yeah.
you know, uh, it's fantastic. And just you have to calibrate according to what you can handle. Never say never, and uh, advocate for book distribution. You have to judge the environment that you're in also. If you don't have full support from leadership, you have to preach to them too in a really gentle, nice way and encourage everybody in the yatra that, oh yeah, our main thing is leaving everyone a good impression. This is going to bring PR, going to bring new new devotees. Market, according to what internally and externally is best for your environment. And don't worry about a thing. Just do what you can do. If it's one book a month, that's fine too. Just find a pace that you can feel satisfied with so that you can get out into that zone where you feel helpless and you say, Krishna, I don't know how to distribute one Bhagavad Gita. How can I do this? That's where the nectar is. Otherwise, we have a plateau and everything turns into bureaucracy and you're just trying to manage for the sake of managing. And then it makes you want to vomit. So, we want dynamism. We want something exciting. And that means get on a Jaladuta. How's that feel? To step on a boat and go to a country you've never been for. Okay, maybe we can't do that, but at least we can get in a car and drive out there and touch the pavement. This is the greatest opportunity to feel that. So bring that spirit to everybody and do what you can. It's all good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I see time is almost over. We had a question also about because we're planning to organize a monthly Sankirtan festival. Can you tell maybe a little bit about that? How to organize it? What is the idea?
There's a lot on the web on distributebooks.com, and if I wrote a book a while back, it's called Our Family Business.
Mhm.
And in it, there's a section specifically about monthly Sankirtan Festival.
Oh,
And the main tenets of it are that you make it fun. And I'll tell you what fun means. It means pizza. I don't care what country you're in. If you say pizza, everyone goes like pizza. Well, okay. Well, then I'll think about it. It means have pizza. Or, think in terms of this is a party. The monthly Sankirtan festivals, thanks, Michael, is a party. And so we do a little training so everyone has an idea what they're doing. We tell people we're not going out to distribute books. It's not about that. It's just going out together one day as a community, whatever size the community is, and feel what it feels like to touch the pavement and be out there in the great unknown. A few people will distribute books who are already used to it. Other people can watch, and you just absorb the environment. And so there's lots more to it, but that's the general idea, and it came from Prabhupada. Prabhupada asked us, the letters are still there. He said once a month, he might have said once a week, but I can't remember right now. But he had these edicts that he said everybody in the temple should go out together. And he said you could leave one person back to do the cooking for the Raj Bhog and so forth. I was in New York and we lived in 340 West 55th. It was a 14-story building. And we had no less than 400 devotees living in that building. And one day a month, we'd all go out. And you'd see mothers with baby carriages and little babies going out with Sri Upanishad stuffed in the side. And the results were so exhilarating because everybody, the next Mangal Artik, everybody was dancing. But that's what you want, oxygen. When you don't deprive the congregation and segregate and say, these are Sankirtan devotees, these aren't. We want everybody to have the opportunity. It's that exhilarating feeling that, oh, Lord Chaitanya, how am I going to do this? And then when you find out there's souls out there that are dying for this, literally, and you're able to connect your devotional service, your chanting, everything comes to a new level because book distribution is high sadhana. This is sadhana. If you don't have this aspect of it, you're missing something. Like rice, okay, dal, pretty good. Together, superfood. 42% more nutrition in the synergy. So any community that has book distribution has life. And as leaders, all you have to do is advocate for it. That this is a good idea. That's all you have to say. This is a good idea. It's 4 words. 5 words. And if you just say that, book distribution, a good idea, and then create an environment where everyone can go out, it's in the organization. You have to think about it, plan for it. Where are the spots you can take devotees where they will feel inspired? Don't take new people to a really intense intersection where the lights are changing and people rush by them. Take them to an easy place and find out a few alternative places you can take people and have fun. And then come back. You can share on the street before you leave if you're all together. You share realizations, that's really important. And then come back and have a pizza party. And everyone could talk about how it was, how they felt, have some kirtan, and have a community activity. Shamahini, what do you think? She's not very talkative today, so I'm not expecting much.
I think it's a great idea, Prabhu. This is how
Okay.
we started, and this is what keeps things going as well.
Yeah, we have photos from going way back in Toronto. So many young people going out, just all smiles, really happy to be together, joining in. They have Harinam plus book distribution, and we distribute prasadam. when we're out too. We always take something like lollipops or cookies or something like that, without sugar and vegan and gluten-free, of course.
Well,
Especially
then it's a good thing I learned to bake pizzas. So,
pizza. Just
yes,
say the word and everyone starts smiling. And you tell the congregation, pizza, like where? We'll just come out for 5 minutes and then we'll give you some.
thank you so much. Michael Prabhu, you had a few, maybe you can come up with the last question that from your list.
Yes. Hare Krishna. Um, in the Netherlands, we have a lot of music festivals, and I was wondering how we could best make use of these music festivals to distribute books. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Sure. Were you going to answer that, Rati Manjari, or is that another question?
Another question.
Okay. So any festivals, it's good to get as much information about what's allowed there as possible. Go to the website, find out city ordinances, go to the inside first. Don't just assume you can go there. And it's much better if you can find out how to get permission to be there. Sometimes, like in America, we have a special concession for if you're a nonprofit, religious, who knows in Netherlands, I don't know. But still, when we do our due diligence and look at the fine print and the bylaws and the festival rules, if you can find a niche there and get a table and set up a nice display, then the devotees have a base to work from. And using signs is really helpful. We have signs that we put up, books on yoga meditation. Some of them put up a sign that says free books on yoga meditation. And we have one side is the free books, and the other side is if they want more, they can donate for them. So there's different ways to work it, but definitely music festivals have been really good for us. We have art and wine festivals that are fantastic. The devotees really catalog all these festivals and they try to get a table there. And if you can't get a table right in it, then you can have one near it perhaps. And if you can't, you can walk around. But that's what I recommend first and foremost is try to find out how to be an official participant. And it's worth paying for things to get in, just for the access. Okay,
Thank
Michael?
you. Yeah, thank you. That's really
Okay.
helpful.
Rati Manjari?
Sorry. We have a collective question, which is more like a desire, which has been building for some time. On behalf of all of us, I would like to humbly ask you if you would like to come and visit us
Sure.
somewhere. Really?
Of course. Why wouldn't I?
Animal. That's wonderful. And together with your and they know your Shakti will do host you and have a course, it has to be worth your while, worth your time. So it'd have to be organized and fit in your itinerary. And as much as you like to stay here, we could present a nice program,
Where's
perhaps in
here?
combination with Belgium. Here is like Amsterdam, Holland, but yeah, because now you are in, where are you? You're back at
I'm
home
in
now?
California. Yeah.
Yeah, I see the backdrop. But you come to England regularly, right? And you've been to
Yes.
France, so you already actually have
No,
you
you don't
know,
have to sell me on it. I know where I go and
okay,
what's possible,
okay,
it's, but basically it's here's a couple of ideas. One is
okay,
when we have some goals together, that's generally when I stay in an orbit. For instance, we say, okay, we're working together now. There's a lot of ideas here that are preliminary. They can be collated, they can be worked on. I should not use passive voice. You can work on them. We can work on them together. We're here for you completely. Remotely, we'll be 24/7 if you need us. And then make some goals. It doesn't matter what they are, but just something more than zero and not less than one. And if you have that and you also have some consensus from the leaders. For instance, okay, we want to go to the next level. What does the GBC say? What does the temple president and the council say? In places where they're not so into book distribution or, like there is no GBC, nobody home, then, me coming there, although there's no place I'd rather be, to be honest with you, with all of you. But then, what are the prospects? So we have to create a landing space to make it worth it so we can really, make it go somewhere, next steps. So that's the thing to consider. And then as far as coming back goes, then you say, okay, then we go to the next levels. Then it's worth coming back and staying in touch because you're working towards something. That's generally how it works. And as far as my schedule goes, it's insane. And a lot of people are telling me this, that. So we're creating a system right now called GPS, and it involves uh, having consultants who are highly trained to work with you and specific yatras where they can help you walk through all these things. I'll also be involved, but if you have somebody who can take a customized approach to, what your needs are and help you move forward, then it's like you have that consultancy whenever you need it to get resources and get encouragement and things like that. And that's something ongoing because there's only so many places I can go. Thanks, Rati Manjari. Thank you, Chitralekha. Thank you, Vishwabandhu. Thank you, Michael Sonali. Yadu, oh, Yadurani. It says Yadurani. Thank you very much, Ananda Vrindavan. Triveni, fantastic. It's a heartfelt to see you all here. We see the scores coming in from what you're doing there. It's fantastic. You have a and your newsletter. This is indication of really enlightened practices, which are definitely following in the footsteps of what Prabhupada wanted. So please keep it up. Shamahini, give us any of your last observations, remarks, or action items that we can help take forward for the next stage for this.
I've already connected with Chitralekha, Dasi, and we're going to exchange information, whatever she would like, any resources. I'd be happy to assist with that. I've noted that you'd like a Dutch translation for the book distribution course. So once we've exchanged contact information, I'd be happy to share the details of the devotees who are working on it, so we can add that to the website as well. And
yeah, okay. I think that's good. And let's circle back. Try to just pull together whatever you've taken from this, digest it, put it into place. Shamahini will keep in touch, and then we'll see about the next steps. Maybe another meeting, whatever you think, would be nice. And also, yeah, I was going to mention about we could, if you're open for it, having somebody who could also be a consultant there specifically to just focus on your yatra and help you in every way possible, who would be in touch with us on a regular basis.
Yes.
Portfolio. It's called a global portfolio Sankirtan. So that's a possibility too. Owarimashita. Ho gaya. Dear
Yes.
Srila Prabhupada, dear Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Panchadava, what are the name of your deities there?
Shri Karunanitai
Shri
Gaurachandra.
Karunanitai Gaur,
Gaurachandra.
Gaurachandra. If you so desire, please empower our Netherlands Sankirtan party by giving them all facility, intelligence, and courage to make incremental improvements in all areas of the Sankirtan party that spill out into the greater community and cause everyone to feel satisfied by participating in your Sankirtan movement. Thank you for considering our request. Om Tat Sat. Everyone agrees with this prayer in whole or in part. Please unmute and say Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Panchakalpatarishcha,
Hare
Kripasindavevacha,
Hare Krishna.
Patitanam Bhavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo.
Namo Namaha. It's great for
More Premanande, Haribo. Feel huge. Netherlands. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Jai Prabhupada.